WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
The longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Because that's what this show's about. That's what we've been doing for over 16 years.
No. It's about sports entertainment.
And now here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon and Lucas DeSangro.
Will you stop marking out over there?
Sorry.
Move over, kid. I'm taking your microphone.
You're shallow. You know that?
I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. I don't remember what the hell I do anymore. There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon here with you alongside the J to my silent Bob, none other than Lucas DeSangro.
So shouldn't you be the one not talking then if you're silent Bob?
Yeah, but this is radio. I kind of have to talk, otherwise we'd have dead air unless you're planning on taking over the show.
Not quite.
I mean, you are wearing a Bullet Club shirt after all.
Yeah, but BWO was the one that said we're taking over.
Yeah,
And
true.
NWO.
Yeah, possibly. Maybe that'll be. Actually, it won't be next week. I don't know. Oh, wow. Well, boy, did you miss a heck of a week last week. I felt like I was reading the 11 o'clock news last week.
Scandal.
Yeah, I mean, between a murder charges, I should say, somebody being shot, and Nazi paraphernalia. I mean, it was a wild week, to say the least.
How about this? How about the fact that it seems like it's a trend now for fans to jump the guardrail and try to run into the ring? Like, let's say... It's like, as of lately, you've been seeing it more and more. Like, somebody throws a briefcase at Reigns.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody tries to attack Ambrose. A fan just tries to walk down to the ring with Rollins. Like, what are they thinking? Like, oh, they'll make an exception for me. No, they won't. Stop it.
It could be worse. They could be streaking. Yes, sir, they call it the streak. Boogity, boogity. Speaking of kazoos and things like that, what did you think of the Edge and Christian interview on Austin's podcast following Raw? Did you get a chance to check that out?
I did get to listen to a little bit, but the best part about it for me was on Raw.
Don't look at me. Oh, you didn't see that part. Okay, never mind. That's a long-standing rib that Edge, Christian, and Austin have. Like, it's almost essentially a game that. I'll throw it out there in case you missed it. Apparently it's just out of nowhere they'll be in mid-conversation and one of them will say, "Don't look at me," and the other has to like turn their head and they ask like how long and they'll say, however many number of seconds. And the funny story that came out of that was they apparently played that game in the middle of probably one of the biggest angles during the Attitude Era when The Undertaker and Ministry and crew and whatnot were tying Austin down to the symbol. Can't call it a cross. It was a symbol.
Why can't we call it a cross?
Well, because then it gives the presumption. I mean, come on, being tied to a cross, you know how many people would be offended with that?
Yeah, nobody. The only person that seemed offended by it in ECW was Kurt Angle.
Well, that's why it's a symbol and not a cross. Anyway, so yes, at the time, Edge and Christian were part of like the Ministry of Darkness and whatnot, and Taker was having them tie Austin down to the symbol, and I think it was Christian leaned over right in the middle of the angle and said, "Don't look at me," and Austin was just like, "You bastard." And yeah, it was. It was just funny that they'd be able to pull a rib in the middle of a major televised angle on Monday Night Raw back when it was lightning hot.
Oh, you. The best part for me, though, on Raw was, like, the Edge and Christian run into the New Day, and then the Dudleys just show up, and a lot of people Photoshop the Hardys in place of the New Day. A lot of people want to see
Matt and Jeff back for one more WWE run.
Yeah, I'd like to see it too. The sad thing is though, you just would only be able to have Edge, Matt and Hardy, and the Hardys and the Dudleys, because Edge and Christian are both they're done. They're retired. You can't.
Yeah, they didn't really. They didn't, I guess, make that big of a deal of it, for lack of a better term.
There's a lot of
or at least about Christians. I mean, Edge had the huge fanfare, the retirement ceremony, everything else. Christian's was kind of a more quiet retirement,
like hushed under the rug, swept. It's like, okay, you're done, good. Let's not really talk about it. It's like that's really.
I've got a follow up to that, but I'm not going to say it because I'll get smacked or chopped or something.
But a lot of people are speculating because of what WWE.com put as a poll was like, whose return would generate the loudest pop, and the options were Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Kurt Angle, like Shelton Benjamin, a bunch of other people, and the highest.
Throw Shelton Benjamin in there.
The highest.
He's the gold standard. Is that why?
I don't know.
Or did they need to have a token in there?
I don't know. The highest the highest percentage though. Guess who it was?
What were the names again?
Jeff Hardy.
I was thrown off when you said Shelton Benjamin.
Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Kurt Angle, Shelton Benjamin, a couple of other guys.
Who obviously didn't win because you can't even remember who they are.
Yeah.
So you're saying...
Guess who had the largest? It wasn't Kurt Angle. Jeff had the highest poll.
It was Jeff Hardy. Okay.
Jeff had the highest poll, like 37%.
Never mind. I'll tell you during the break.
Yeah. And Matt Hardy didn't have as much as Kurt Angle's did, but like it was still a decent percentage, you know? Like a lot of people want to see the Hardy Boys, but I feel like Jeff Hardy's music would definitely generate a lot of pop. Like I was
you know what? If it's the old music, yes. If it was the new, what was it, No More Words, I don't know if it would generate the same.
People would know because they have the network and they'd be able to like. I was watching Thursday night. I was watching WrestleMania 25, and what made me very upset was I was watching the Extreme Rules match, and Jeff Hardy's music came, and it seemed they definitely tampered with like the audio on that. Because his pop, I remember, was a lot louder than that. Like, he got a huge ovation. He was so over at the time, but they dialed down the audience in post-edit.
Well, is that because, I mean, did they dub over the music at all?
No, they didn't dub over the music. It was a song, No More Words, but, like, they messed with, like, they tampered with the audience reaction in post-production. Like, they dialed it down a little bit instead of giving it the original.
Are you sure it isn't revisionist history, though?
No, I remember watching it, and I may have been 10 years old at the time, but I may have been a huge fan of Jeff Hardy, but I remember because I was blown away. They were going crazy, like Punk at Money in the Bank 2011 crazy. Like that's how crazy the fans were going.
All right, I'm just making sure you weren't hearing it through rose-colored headphones. That's all.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
As opposed to rose-tinted glasses, but obviously seeing with audio wouldn't quite work.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, because nobody wants to see my... never mind.
Anyway, yeah, I feel like they tampered with it a little bit, especially because Hardy's in TNA and stuff like that for the time being.
Oh, okay, because he's with the other organization, we're going to kind of stick it to you and make your audio not a... That seems really petty and really like an added annoying task for the production team,
but the thing was
just to stick it to someone. And let's say he comes back to WWE, then do they have to go back and revert the audio to what it was?
Yes. What I heard on Thursday night was like Jeff Hardy's music hits and goes, it like fades down, and that is not what he had. Like a huge pop.
Or maybe they were, maybe WWE's distancing themselves a little bit or not necessarily glorifying Jeff Hardy as much because of what happened when he left WWE.
Yeah.
I mean, with the police and the seizure of the various paraphernalia. I mean, that may have something to do with it. I don't know. I'm obviously not in Titan Towers. All I'm doing is speculating, but it may come across as petty, but there may be a more corporately streamlined reason that you're unaware of.
The other thing...
Wow, I'm sounding really diplomatic today. What the hell's the matter with me?
Nothing, really. The thing was, like, but Jeff Hardy was so over at the time. He outsold John Cena in merchandise sales in 2009.
I do remember that, yes.
I tell people that don't even watch wrestling, and they're even befuddled. Like, wait, he outsold John Cena? Like the guy that everyone has his T-shirt, that guy.
But
Yeah.
it's John Cena.
Yeah.
But apparently, yeah, that's... I don't know. I mean, there was a little bit where Savage was outselling Hogan back in... Hogan's merchandise back in the late 80s.
Oh, definitely. It's no surprise to me.
I think now he's probably outselling him still. I don't know. They still have those Macho Man Under Armour things.
I think they do.
I'll have to look at that after the show's over.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Well, what do you think? You want to take care of some business? I'm like deferring the show to you here.
Is it time to take care of some business, or do you?
I mean, we got a couple of minutes. I don't want to go right to the phones just because I want to make sure that the full time's allotted.
Why don't we go?
It's that weird kind of midsection here. I mean, you know what? Well, actually, there's one thing I'll tell you about in a little bit, but yeah, I'm gonna tease some. Here we go. This is that little thing, some interning knowledge, a little thing called a radio tease. Some of the news and tidbits that we're going to talk about over the course of the hour.
Okay. Well,
first,
coming up, or you go first. My bad.
I would hope so. It's my no. Well, I mean, we mentioned the Hulkster a little bit ago. Did you hear that he signed an endorsement deal?
Yes, I did.
Well, good for you. For those who hadn't, we'll tell you coming up. Also, some more movie roles for Batista. Got to talk about that. You mentioned Kurt Angle as well. He announced his future plans, or at least his near future plans, and we'll get into how that affects TNA and how that might affect WWE.
And the Yes Movement, People Power. Is there going to be some relation at some point?
They are soon to be related. We'll get into that. And a former WWE lead writer knowing his role in The Rock's new production company. I know. I don't know if you smell what I'm cooking there, but if you don't, well, we'll let it simmer for a little bit and we'll tell you a bit later. Wordplay's fun. One thing I will tell you about, though, you know the place well, as do I, George's Cards and Collectibles. It's your place for sports and wrestling memorabilia and a great time to pursue a litany of merchandise. Well, it's when George's presents the Neshaminy Mall Cards and Collectibles Show on Friday through Sunday, October 23rd to the 25th, all throughout the Neshaminy Mall. You can see the area's best dealers in sports cards, novelties, action figures. Lucas?
Yeah.
Okay. Comic books, coins, and other collectibles as well. Just trying to get you to interact a little bit more there. I know you're tired with this whole high school thing, and
also the fact I'm letting you do the.
I know you're doing the spot, but it's.
So I'm.
Okay, so you're backing out. Okay, that's or standing down or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. But yes, you can see the area's best dealers in sports cards, novelties, action figures, comic books, coins, and other collectibles, including. I'll give him a shameless plug as well. The folks over at RF Video. They've got a rather notable table not too far from where George's location is. And, they have a litany of DVDs and title belts, replica title belts, signed memorabilia, a bunch of different stuff. That's where I got the House of Hardcore DVDs. They usually have those as well. I think they've released the one from when they were in Toronto, not earlier this summer. But if not, and if I'm misquoted, you go check it out, and I'm sure you'll call up on Halloween, which would be after that weekend, and tell me how wrong of a doofus I am. Anyway, check out George's 3 locations for all your sports and wrestling memorabilia needs, including their original store at 7755 New Falls Road in Fairless Hills, on the lower level of the Oxford Valley Mall next to the Sears Court, and in the Neshaminy Mall in the AMC Theater Wing. For more info on upcoming signings, collectibles, and more, give George's a call at 215-943-2475 or go to georgescollectibles.com. Fearon Derry alongside Lucas DeSangra, coming back with more chat, more of your phone calls. We've got Ed from Northeast Philly. We'll get to him on the other side, and room for you on the lines as well. 215-949-3232 or toll free at 888-922-2149. That's 888-WBCB-1490. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
He's got the Luigi death stare from Fearon, so he might have.
I didn't give you the Luigi death stare. That's not true.
Ricky kayfabe.
Breaking cape. I'm going to break something else during this commercial.
There we go. That's what I like to see.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Are we getting into that controversy again?
I know how it feels, and it's not fun.
Controversy creates cash. I'm still waiting to see mine. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry alongside Lucas DeSangro.
I don't know. I keep all my money in the freezer so that way it's
Cold hard cash. Is that where you're trying to go with that?
no, it's just so the banks can't screw me over. Got a little bit.
The freezer though?
Well, I don't really feel like putting it under my mattress. I need a good lumbar support, so.
Well, yeah, true. With all those body slams you'll eventually be taking.
No, I've already taken them. It just hurts. Plus, the fact you ever see.
Really? You don't say.
I know, right? It's like I thought it was going to be padded with pillows and stuff.
Like that one ring down in NXT, the where they do the aerial stuff. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
They have, of their, I think, 7 rings that they have at the NXT Performance Center, there's one that is almost kind of like the foam pit, where you land and it's almost like a giant memory foam ring is probably the best way to explain it. That way you can, I think that's strictly to try things off the top rope and significantly reduce the risk for injury.
Yeah.
I forget where I saw it. Might have been. I forget if it was something that was on the WWE Network, or it might have been one of those fitness DVDs that Triple H and Stephanie had released. I want to say Triple H because the Power one was the one that I had seen. I think I got both, but never popped in the Fit one, which explains a lot. Yeah, I beat you to the joke. There.
I wasn't even going to make the joke.
Of course you weren't.
Yeah, I know, right? Because, I wasn't going to make the joke. I don't know how you're going to react.
I'll more than likely laugh on the outside.
Exactly.
And then cry on the inside.
Exactly. So that's why I didn't make the joke.
High road. Good job. And you're talking to me about
Yeah, because I don't take the high road most of the time. You do. We need to do like a bit of a role reversal here. You need to go straight for the joke. I need to take the high road and be like, oh, you. That's the way it needs to go.
I'm going to take the high road one more time and go to the phones instead. We'll get to Ed from Northeast Philly before I get fired here. Ed, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Good afternoon. How was your holiday?
It was good. I actually got to take in the Fightin' Phils for the first time in like a couple of years.
We got some good shows coming up. Tonight, or this afternoon, is Voorhees, New Jersey, at the Flyers Skate Zone, CZW Combat Zone, and WSU.
Oh, are they doing another one of those double-header type deals? Oh, very nice.
Yeah, starting at 4 p.m. today.
That should certainly be a romp of a time.
Triple WA comes back to Philadelphia at 7756 Dittman Street at the Homesburg Boys Club, October 3rd.
Okay, that's like lower northeast Philly, right? You can tell I don't get into the city all that often. I'm like, Holmesburg, I think I kind of sort of know where that is.
It's right around the Homesburg prison area, northeast Philadelphia.
Because it's a prison, so of course I know exactly where that is.
Yeah, St. Hubert's area, high school.
Oh, okay, yeah, gotcha.
Right right in that area.
Oh, very nice.
There's a show that was postponed because of the weather up in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Wrestling Room Stars. That's postponed till the end of the month.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's understood. I was going to say, the weather today is not exactly, well, I think later is supposed to be getting thunderstorms. As long as it's not an outdoor show, it should be fine.
Yeah, it's at the Susquehanna Bank Park, so it might be an outdoor show, I think, the way it looks.
In that case, hopefully they've got a canopy above the ring. That could be a little dicey.
And House of Hardcore is coming to Philadelphia.
Oh, really?
Tommy Dreamer at the ECW Arena.
Okay, did they announce a date for that yet?
November 13th.
November. November 13th. Okay.
That might be a Friday night.
Huh.
I think so.
Oh, that.
Is George's having the tickets this year?
As far as I know, I mean, I can take a look probably on the website here, but I think at least for the moment they're strictly available on the website.
Yeah. Mick Foley's at the Helium Comedy Club, September 24th. He's doing a comedy.
Okay, would that be a Thursday night? I know. I don't exactly have a calendar in front of me. Yeah. September 24th would be a Thursday night, 1 week from this coming Thursday.
Yes. And that's about it.
All righty. Always appreciate the look at the local scene from Ed from Northeast Philly. Thanks so much for the call, as always. And he is right. That November 13th show in Philadelphia, the House of Hardcore, that would be on a Friday night. As the following night, they're doing 2 nights in a row. House of Hardcore 10 will be at the ECW, well, the old ECW arena, the 2300 arena, on Friday, November 13th. And then the next night, Saturday, November 14th, they'll be at the Elmcore Center in Corona, New York. So 2 nights, 2 shows. Tickets for both are available at houseofhardcore.net.
I know I'm going to be not attending because of football, most likely. Or if not,
I was going to say, by that point in November, it'll probably be playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I'm sure Pennsbury will get there if they can step up from their performance last night. The Neshaminy didn't do that great either, so I didn't mean for that to be a slam.
It's 1 loss. What are you going to do? You know?
It was a shutout, though, wasn't it?
A loss is a loss.
A loss is a loss. The one time that I provide facts and you don't want me to. Okay, there's many times that I do that. Okay, I do it all the freaking time. You happy? Are you happy?
Thank you.
There.
Woo! Don't.
Thank you, Richard Flair. All right, let's get to some news and notes here. How's about that? Well, Niet. Not Niet as in no, we're not going to get into news, but no, Lana undergoing wrist surgery. That's right. WWE's Lana, a.k.a. CJ Perry, underwent wrist surgery on Thursday. She suffered the injury this past Sunday while working out in the ring and is expected to be sidelined from training in the ring for up to 4 months.
Wow.
WWE's Dr. Chris Amon gave an update on their website. Quote, Lana underwent open reduction and internal fixation of a left distal radius fracture with a volar plate. Gesundheit. The fracture was stabilized and returned to its normal anatomic position during the surgery using the volar plate and screws. Lana did very well without any complications and is expected to make a full recovery, end quote. No word on whether or not she was issued a Z-Pack along with it. There, I said it. Ha.
Thank you. See, was that so hard?
Yes.
You'll get used to it.
If I had $1 for every time I was told that. The Hulkster signing an endorsement deal.
How many dollars would that be, Fearon?
I'll calculate during the next break and tell you then.
Oh, is that Neshaminy math catching up to?
No, it's just, it's a lot to keep track of. So Hulk Hogan continuing to attempt to bounce back from his sex tape and scandal involving his racially inflammatory comments.
Brother.
brother, by signing on as the spokesperson for a sports gambling website.
Because, hey, let's take another gamble at my profile, guys. Shut up. That was funny in my head, okay?
If you had $1 for every time you said that, you'd be able to afford the tuition to the factory on your own.
Paid off.
Oh.
Already paid off.
Oh. Okay, fine. You could pay for me then. Oh, okay. Wait. Hogan is teaming with fantasy sports site fanpicks.com. Representative of the site saying regarding Hogan's controversial status, quote, "We all make mistakes and deserve second chances." Hogan added, quote, "I'm looking forward to connecting with all my Hulkamaniacs during some of the biggest games of the year and at upcoming fan pick live events in the near future." I don't know. I don't really do any fantasy anything. I barely do any reality anything, so I don't know.
Same.
So I don't know if that's something I'll necessarily be going to, but...
Not really interested in meeting Hogan.
No?
Not really.
Well, okay, yeah, I guess he was in the nostalgia point where you were a wrestling fan.
No, it's not even that, because if Savage was there, I'd go immediately, but, like, I just don't really like Hogan that much. It's not even the whole scandal as of recent, just the stuff he's done backstage, dude. You know, it's just...
That's your OSW influence coming out. That's what that is.
But also the fact that it's turned Bret Hart into such a bitter person.
Oh, because he had that far to go. Come on now.
Seriously, like, it's just Hogan.
If you had to deal with Stu going stretch him from birth, you'd be pretty bitter too.
Yeah, true. Stretch him. Hey, he's got a cut on his arm. Stretch him. But that's gonna make it stretch him.
Avoiding the Wild Bill Wiles joke.
Tie him into a pretzel.
Sure, we can go with that.
Oh, the other one. Okay.
Am I keeping you from something? I don't know.
No,
I feel like you're really distracted.
Not distracted. It's just.
You say you took your meds, right?
Yeah, did you take yours?
No. That explains a lot.
Seem very concerned. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Just making sure.
What was that? Oh, no. No.
Yeah,
sorry.
okay. Yeah, it's good job there, Orton.
Not Orton.
With the voices in your head.
There's only one
talking
voice.
To you, they understand.
No, there's only one voice. And, well, this is gotten awkward. Anyway, next to the next story, guys.
Oh, well, okay. Speaking of awkward, how about the Divas getting ejected from a restaurant?
Oh, Paige, I love her. She's got that bar brawler Brit attitude. Oh, my God, take me now. Okay.
WWE Divas Alicia Fox and Paige were kicked out of a restaurant bar this past Sunday. A waiter at Supano's Prime Steakhouse, Seafood and Pasta in Baltimore told TMZ that one of the regular, quote, barflies harassed the wrestlers by taking pictures and videos. An altercation went down, and then drinks, mostly margaritas, quote, flew from both corners.
Bodies everywhere! Complete and utter disarray! I can't believe it! It's mass hysteria! PTO!
More like wasting again in Margaritaville. See?
Wasted again in Margaritaville.
Allegedly.
I'd say to say it's not alleged.
But eventually, employees stopped the fight and kicked out all 3 patrons.
Are they like barred? Or are they not allowed to come back? Or?
Oh, barred. I see what you did there.
Well, yeah, barred means if you're barred. Well, okay, yeah.
See, now you get the pun.
Now
okay.
I get the pun that I didn't.
That it was not intended. Yes.
But did they get banned from the bar?
TMZ did not note anything on that. I can get any further info.
TMZ's just really good at picking up wrestling storylines, just like that, just left and right.
Eventually snapping to it.
shut up. Eventually, it's like, oh, here's another one. Here's another. It's like pulling out Kleenex. Like, oh, here's another one. Oh, here's another one. Oh, oh. I could do this all day. Wrestling has so many scandals. It's great. Selling my soul to get a TV show.
It's like the magician who pulling out the multicolored handkerchiefs that are all tied to one another.
It really is. It's like murder, racist, bar fight, murder,
Nazi,
murder, Nazi, murder. It's like all the They have all the scandals, all of them. Then integration.
Man, that one from Zahara last week. I did not see that coming.
Did you see what she posted on Twitter afterwards?
No. I was going to say, can you repeat it? Do you want to go over it with me before you repeat it?
I can repeat most of it.
All right, then I trust your judgment to make the appropriate censorship as I'll hang my finger ever so close to the dump button, just in case.
Well, she pretty much was saying how it doesn't matter that WWE fired me because I'll be riding something of Seth's tonight. That's pretty much.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
His title belt.
So, yeah.
Yes, one of his title belts.
She'll be riding with him in the car to the hotel room.
Yes, there we go.
And she just seems like a lovely girl. Really, just, such a...
The kind you want to take home to mom.
Definitely all her tattoos and her cursing and her Nazi symbols and just... I knew from the... Okay, I'm sorry. Once she was caught... Once her pictures were on the internet...
I'm picturing your mother's reaction and just like, silently laughing to myself.
It's like, oh, that's great. Lucas, you have to till the count of 5 or I'm stabbing you. Not your date, stabbing you. Okay, Mom. Yeah, Sahara, we gave it a shot. Sorry. See you later. Oh, yeah.
Say hi to Seth for me.
Yeah. Hey, can you get me his autograph? Thanks. No, okay.
Yeah, just mail it to the house. You know the address.
Yeah. Just don't whatever. It's just the fact, as soon as her pictures were leaked on the internet, I knew she was going to be trouble. She caused Seth Rollins to break up with his fiancée, not girlfriend, fiancée. He was engaged to be married. And then this happens. Oh, I really wasn't that surprised. I was like, called it.
Well, speaking of engaged to be married, you're just tossing up softballs left and right here.
You just got to hit them right out of the park. Just you know.
He's not the best wingman in the broadcast business for nothing, folks.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, speaking of engaged to be married.
Please don't call me the Red Rooster.
Why was I going to call you the Red Rooster?
Wingman, get it?
I wasn't going to go anywhere near that.
Well, that's the second time it's happened today. So get on with the story. I'm going to take a nap.
See, I knew you were tired. Former WWE head of talent relations John Laurinaitis is engaged to Kathy Colas. Who's that? Well, she happens to be the mother of the Bella twins. So once the marriage happens, Johnny's son-in-law will be, yes, Daniel Bryan.
That's how Nikki's going to break AJ's reign. She's married into the business. If not Cena,
it worked for Triple H.
I'm just going to say, if she had a backup plan. If I can't marry Cena, I got to have some sort of influence.
Talk about getting instilled with people power. Okay, I guess that worked. I don't know why you went for the Ace Ventura laugh, but...
It's just, that's my skeezy laugh. Just
skeezy?
Yeah, skeevy, whatever.
Sleazy.
I don't know. It's
that vocabulary of yours. All right, why don't we take our second time out here, and we'll come back. We've got some more news to talk about. Which former WWE lead writer? Easy for me to say. There we go. I'll also work on learning how to talk again.
I was going to say, call me out on my grammar. Sure, why don't you? Definitely.
I'm just tongue-tied. Former WWE lead writer who knows his role in The Rock's new production company.
Also coming up, Kurt Angle to announce future plans.
Yeah, we'll get into that. And also, what movie roles does Batista have lined up that'll keep him even further from the WWE ring?
Yeah.
But first, got to tell you about my favorite beer spot. You love this bit. Why are you giving me a drum roll for that?
Just read I'm done.
Oh, please. You were done at 11:40.
Shut up.
Okay, 11:45. All right, yeah. Okay, while you're recouping, I'll... Yeah, we'll hear Lucas back here sometime in January when he's finally recovered.
That's funny. Not really, but, go ahead, read. Plug.
Yeah, okay, plug. Talk about things. Yes, pimping ain't easy, as the Godfather once said. One thing I'm going to pimp, though, is my favorite beer spot, which is easily done. The distraction, that is. And I guess it is easily done. All you got to do is drive over to 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol to go to the Broken Goblet Brewery. That's right, Broken Goblet Brewing, breaking your perspective on how you experience craft beer, because broken can be beautiful. For example, tonight at 8 o'clock, it's back. That's right, Kinky Quizzo. And now Lucas perks up.
Well, I'm not going to be able to go anyway, so I might as well just perk back down.
Plus, if the stars align, the Fall of Risengard Black Rye will make its triumphant return to the Tap Towers. It's a lot of alliteration there. Also, don't forget the goblets.
A lot of geekiness, too. I like it.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's all Mike, Jay, Joe, and Bubba. That's just the four owners of the Broken Goblet. They are nerdy and they are awesome.
Oh, it's great.
For a litany of reasons. Don't forget the Goblet's Hoppy Halloween 2 Beer Fest coming up on October 24th.
Hoppy Halloween.
For just $25, you'll be able to sample beer and other libations from the Broken Goblet and at least 16 other Bucks County and Philadelphia-based breweries. And worth the price of admission on its own, the return of the Goblet's fall beer, All Goblets Have Spirits. That's right, no pumpkin to be found here. It is a 10% Scotch ale brewed with maple syrup and gala apples. Perfect for hosers like me who love their maple syrup. Yeah, I'm gonna.
I like maple syrup too.
And on occasion, you're a hoser as well.
Yeah.
So take that, eh? Open Thursdays through Sundays and soon to be open Wednesdays too. It's always a good time at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Check them out on the web at brokengoblet.com. That's Broken Goblet Brewing, the semi-official brewery of Pro Wrestling Weekly. Coming back with more news and notes, birthdays, today in wrestling history, and I don't know, I think I'll hit you up with a little trivia as well. I've been kind of hiding this nugget for a little bit. No, not Owen. A different nugget. And we'll throw that out there as well, just to pick what's left of the brain of Lucas DeSangro. Alongside Lucas, I'm Fearon Derry. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, September 12. On this date in 1989, the NWA held its Clash of the Champions 8 Supercard. In the main event, Ric Flair and Sting defeated Dick Slater and the Great Muta by disqualification. On this date in 1999, WCW held its Fall Brawl pay-per-view. In the main event, Sting defeated Hulk Hogan to win the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 2004, WWE held its Unforgiven pay-per-view. In the main event, Triple H pinned Randy Orton to win the World Heavyweight Championship. This has been Today in Wrestling History, September 12.
This is Jim the Anvil Neidhart of the Hart Foundation, and you're listening to Pro Wrestling Weekly with Fearon Derry on 1490 WBCB, baby. Yeah!
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry alongside Lucas DeSangro. Thank goodness we're not mic'd during the breaks.
Oh, thank God. We would be off the air.
We would be in so much trouble. Unless there's some sort of Bubba the Love Sponge recording going on that we don't know about, but I don't know. Next thing you know, yeah. Fearon Derry Bleepgate. I don't know. Local wrestling host thrown off the air. No, I was going to say, wow, the time has flown quickly here. Let's get into, a couple more tidbits of news and notes, and also your favorite segment still to get into, and a programming note although it's been kind of going back and forth, I believe we're preempted next week.
Really?
Dun, dun, dun.
Well,
Because I believe there is a 10:45 high school football game here on WBCB.
well,
I don't know. It was on the calendar, and then there was a line drawn through it, and then it was rewritten in. So I don't know. As I've said many a time here, things change second by second here at WBCB. You never know what's going to happen. So if for some reason we are preempted, I'll put our predictions certain to go wrong for Night of Champions up on the Pro Wrestling Weekly Facebook fan page.
maybe.
I don't know. We'll as I said, we'll figure it out as we go along, because that's just how we do here. Speaking of the Facebook fan page, blast you, John from Northeast Philly, for making me feel old. Okay, we'll add that to the mix coming up in a couple of minutes. I'll just leave it at that. Don't go to the website to cheat on it, since I know you're frivolously scrolling through your phone over there. So former
Way to call me out on that. Thanks. Just you have such a you just love doing that.
That's what friends do, right?
That's great. Yeah. Too bad I can't call you out on anything.
Well, yeah, you could. It just wouldn't be a very wise decision.
Oh, now he's turning into Sylvester Stallone. Nice.
Well, yeah, you could. It just wouldn't be a very wise decision. Well, speaking of actors, more movie roles for Batista.
See, those segues just keep popping up, man. I'm good. I'm damn good. I'm that damn good.
I'll keep that. Yeah, I'll note the time on that one. That'll have to be a new drop at some point.
Yeah.
I actually did collect the other ones from a couple of weeks ago when you were like, "Oh yeah, you should maybe use that." Yeah, that's. See, I do follow through on these things, and I agree with one of them.
You bet I'm a piece of garbage.
See how these sometimes come back to haunt you?
I'm a piece of garbage. I don't care. All right? I just...
All right, more movie roles for Batista. Dave Batista starring in a action thriller called Bushwick, according to Deadline.com. He stars as a war veteran with Jane Levy as the lead actress. It was also announced by Deadline that Batista is one of the stars in the film Marauders that features Bruce Willis. Yeah, now, about Bushwick, it focuses on Texas attempting to secede from the United States and using New York City as a negotiation tool. Yeah, it's a bit of a head-scratcher for me, too.
I can see that. It's definitely not going to be straight to DVD. Sarcasm.
It's right up there with Quebec trying to secede from Canada, or at least be its own... independent, yeah, it's a whole nother story. Anyway, don't expect to see Batista in the ring for a long while, as along with those, he has roles in 3 additional movies, along with future installments, reprising his role as Drax the Destroyer in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah.
Drax the Destroyer.
Also, former WWE lead writer knowing his role, that's right, Brian Gewirtz. Not surprisingly, named the senior vice president of The Rock's $7 Buck Productions, according to Deadline.com. Gewirtz was WWE's lead writer from 2002 to 2013 and was The Rock's go-to writer in WWE when it came to many, 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 many of The Rock's WWE catchphrases. Also, Kurt Angle announcing future plans. That's right, he announced on fellow Pittsburghian Mark Madden's radio show. You remember Mark Madden, briefly doing color commentary in WCW in 2000. Okay, I remember him. You were very young at that point. Anywho, he announced on Mark Madden's radio show that he intends to complete his TNA contract in January and then go on a sabbatical. Angle saying on the show, quote, "I'm going to finish out my contract. I'm definitely going to take a break. I'm not going to re-sign with TNA. I'm not going to look at WWE. I'm just going to take a break." Angle also mentioned that he is targeting an in-ring return of October 4th at Bound for Glory. He'd been sidelined with surgery back in July to remove a benign tumor from his neck. It is indeed a tumor.
It's not a tumor. Yes,
no,
it is.
In this case it was.
It's a tumor.
But thankfully it's gone now, and Angle's working on recovering. So, yeah, how about it? Time for your favorite segment.
birthdays.
You know, you do remind me a lot of Curly. Because because I kind of like what Jules White, the longtime director of the Three Stooges films, did throughout the 30s and 40s for Curly, where he just kind of penciled in a couple of minutes of Curly ad-lib. I feel like I kind of leave a couple of minutes in the show just for Lucas to do his thing.
There should be some time for Lucas to do his thing. Just let him take the reins and all hell breaks loose.
Well, except today, because, I don't know, mustering up. Shut up, Ron. Careful now.
Careful.
All right, getting to birthdays. So on this date in 1954, Keith Frank was born. Who's that? The former WWF Tag Team Champion known as Adrian Adonis. Also adorable Adrian Adonis, unfortunately passed away in 1988 at the age of 33 in a fatal auto accident. Yeah, he was riding with some other wrestlers. It was way up in the boonies of Canada, and the driver had swerved out of the way to avoid a moose and drove right into a lake.
It's the most Canadian accident I've ever heard of.
Oh, there's worse. I'll tell you after the show, eh? On this date in 1957, Michael Hegstrand was born. That name might sound familiar. The 2011 WWE Hall of Famer known as Road Warrior Hawk. Passed away in 2003 at the age of 46 from a heart attack. I know. These aren't very happy birthdays, but there are a couple. I got a couple more here. On this date in 1965, Anne-Marie Crooks was born. Who's that? The former bodybuilder and WCW women's wrestler known as Midnight turns 50 today. And I'm sure a lot of you are still going, who's that?
A veritable who's that from the listeners.
Yeah, well, she had one pay-per-view match teaming with Harlem Heat's Booker T and Stevie Ray in a losing effort against Creative Control. Gerald and Patrick were their names.
I was going to say, that was starring Josephine III?
No, the Gerald and Patrick were their names. The Harris brothers, Ron and Don Harris. They've had a billion different gimmicks in wrestling. Along with Kurt Hennig, that was the 6-person tag on that. And it just dawned on me now, and I never picked up on it when I was watching. Well, okay, at that point in Starrcade in '99, I wasn't watching a whole lot of WCW, but Gerald and Patrick were Creative Control's names.
Yeah.
Jerry, like a rib on Jerry Briscoe and Pat Patterson. I never got that until today when I was putting this together.
Of course, they were ribbing them.
Well, there was a lot of that because they also that team was accompanied by Shane, which was an obvious rib on Shane McMahon, played by your favorite $10 man and mine, Virgil.
So wait, he was Virgil, Vincent,
Vincent, and Shane. Yes, I rib you not. And John from Northeast Philly put this up on the on the Pro Wrestling Weekly Facebook fan page. On this date in 1985, Super Mario Brothers was born. That's right. 30 years ago today, Super Mario Brothers was released. Way to make me feel old. Damn it, John, you suck. I like you, but you suck. Are you going to do the whole song?
Oh, that was pretty good. Wow.
John also chiming in. Batista may also have the Force with him. Hashtag episode 8 or episode 9.
Make it happen.
And Dr. Lucas Zoidberg, he also put on the Facebook fan page. There you go. You got your shtick in. You got your shtick in. Are you happy?
Yeah, extreme considerably.
Oh, goodness. All right. That's going to just about do it for us. I believe we're off next week. I'll let you know as soon as I get some sort of confirmation from Matt Miro, because he's good about doing that sort of thing. But for now, stay tuned as Ted Efaw's up next. He's got a little bit of country music until high school football at 1:45. Until then, play us out, Nutsy.
1 o'clock in all's well.
1:45. Until then, play us out, Nutsy.
serving you better than ever before. This is 1490 WBCB.